I know, life can get a little bit much sometimes. There are just those days that everything just hits us all at once. You know, whether it's an absolute ton of emails, some crazy family stuff, or we just feel that mental clutter, or that one text that we see and we just really don't feel like replying to it. It just feels like you're standing in the middle of a storm with your thoughts just scattered everywhere, while everyone just seems to be calmly walking through everything. And it makes you wonder, why am I getting pushed over by every single gust of wind and everyone else just seems fine? Trust me, things don't look as good as they seem, or as calm as they seem. And I want to say that I've been there. I feel like we've all been there. But sometimes we just, need a little push, need a little bit of help to organize all those thoughts that we're having and help us make sense of everything that's kind of going on around us. And if you clicked on this video because you're having one of these moments right now, let's have a little chat about it, and I hope I can help you out. So this wonderful, beautiful chaos that we call life, we're all going to go through it, we're all going to experience it, and there's nothing we can do apart from just going forward. So here are some ways on how you can calm the storm, even if it's just a little bit. Alright, so for me personally, I'd say there are 3 main ways that help me kind of just get through these moments where things are a bit hectic, feels like I've got so much to do and just no time at all. And these are just the rules that I just kind of tend to stick by. In my opinion, they are pretty simple, but they're not always easy to follow. But they work. I can promise you that they do work. So, the first thing, I want you to name the chaos. Literally. Write down on a piece of paper or in a notepad on your phone just what the hell is going on right now. It can be as detailed or as vague as you want it to be. I just want you to write it all down. I want you to make it real and put it into words. And you'd actually be surprised at how powerful this can be. Because a large majority of the time, we get overwhelmed not because of the amount of things we've got going on, but because of all the things that are just going on around in our head, because it's just everywhere. It's scattered, it's undefined. Because up here, there's not really much structure, it's just there. It's just what you remember, what you think about, alongside of all the other emotions and other things that we've got to contain and do what else we've got to do with, right? So try writing about everything that's stressing you out right now. Because let me tell you now, it won't fix the problem for you, but it will let you see it clearly. And that's the first step. When you name chaos, you can face it directly, because your attitude is going to go from, well, this is just shit and everything sucks, to, okay, I have a script to finish, I need to send off that email to my designer, and I also need to finish off that project by the end of the week. And you see the difference? One is, I don't want to do this, I don't know where to start, I don't know what it is. One is a genuine list, it's just a to-do list. It quite literally just makes you see what you need to do, and that's it. Because once it's written down, and it's on paper, or a notepad, or just something solid you can actually see, it becomes real. The second thing is to protect these small moments of peace. You don't actually need, a holiday or a little weekend getaway in order to get your head on straight. I mean, it's nice and it certainly does help because it quite clearly allows you to do that, but you don't need it. Sometimes just taking a couple minutes to just lay there and just stare at the ceiling when you wake up first thing in the morning. You've got a crazy day ahead, whatever it may be. You just sit there in complete silence, 5 minutes, no phone, no nothing. You just lay there and think. Maybe in those 5 minutes you can get a piece of paper and write things down and combine it with the other point. Sometimes you just gotta go on a walk with no phone, no music, nothing. Just you and your thoughts. And just think about the problem. Sometimes a little bit of time away, just in the quiet, away from everybody and everything, is all you need to just kind of put clarity on whatever it is that you're going through. Because chaos will try to attempt to take over your mind and your ways of thinking whenever it possibly can, if you let it. And that's the main thing here, is if you let it, because there are ways to prevent it. So remember all those little moments of peace. Remember them, think about them, and enjoy them, and do them whenever you can. And I know some people cannot stand the silence and cannot do anything in silence, and that's completely fair. In that case, I'm sure you can find some calming music, some ambient sounds, listen to the sea, whatever it may be. There's anything and everything on Spotify or YouTube, and just listen to it. Something with no words, something simple and calming, whilst you think about the things you need to think about. Make it all as simple or as fancy as you want, because you're not escaping from your problems by taking some time away. You're just putting fuel up here. You're organizing the thoughts. You're organizing your mind in order to tackle the problem later on down the line. Because sometimes you need to step away for a moment in order to be able to charge in full confidence. And the third thing is, don't do it all alone. This one's pretty tough, definitely for me. It's really hard for a lot of us to ask for help, especially if you're, used to being the strong one, the reliable one, the one that always gets things done. But sometimes even we need help. Sometimes we need to ask. Sometimes we need a little bit of assistance. That's just how it is. And that's absolutely okay. Because chaos silently grows when you just push it off to the side. It just gets worse and worse. And eventually it all just piles up. So call a friend, text someone, schedule a meeting, whatever it may be, just do something and ask someone. It may not even be to help you with your exact problem. Maybe it'll just be to get away from it for a day or two, for a couple hours even. Just get away from it all with somebody or a group of people. And once you're ready, you come back. And that is when you can challenge it all over again. If you don't feel comfortable talking to someone specific or talking to someone you know, research it. Watch a video, just like this one. Maybe it'll put your mind at ease. Maybe it'll help you organize your thoughts. Sometimes that's all you need, just some of the right words. So you need to hear in order to go again. Because the way I see it is this: you sat here watching this video is already a step. This isn't nothing, this is a start. And the start is usually the most difficult thing. And the fact that you accepted that you need something is very brave in my opinion. I'm gonna be honest, there was a time like this very recently actually, where I just felt like I had so much on at once. I just felt like I didn't really have time to think. I felt like everything wasn't organized. I felt like it was just gonna fail. I generally felt like it just wasn't gonna really work. Trying to keep up with the gym, all the stuff for the clothing brand, all the stuff for YouTube, and all that and other things just combined. And I'm not trying to make it sound like I'm complaining or moaning. I was generally just pretty overwhelmed. So I did the first step, because that usually helps me the most, and it's probably the quickest to carry out, for me anyway. And I just wrote everything down. I literally went, this day I'm gonna do this, this and this. This day I'm gonna get this and that done. That day, and so on and so forth. And I planned that out for like literally 2 weeks. I literally wrote out day by day, 2 weeks, and every single task I'm gonna do on each and every single day. And I was just kind of sat there after I did that, and I kind of thought, why did I feel so overwhelmed? It wasn't even that bad. Was it a lot? Yeah, it was a fair amount, but it's nothing that's not manageable. And I'm glad I did that, because if I didn't, I have a feeling I would have spiraled out, and I would have made some mistakes, and I would have done something bad. But instead, I stayed calm. I thought about, how can I organize this mess? How can I get this chaos under control? And that's honestly all I needed to get forward. So if you're facing your own chaos right now, just know that you're not a failure, you're not an idiot, you're just living. It's just part of life, isn't it? Sometimes things are smooth sailing, and sometimes the boat flips upside down. And there's not really that much we can do about it. We can only do what we can in that moment. Sometimes it will feel like we're gonna get, lost in this mess. Once again, that's okay, because that's it. That's all it is. It's just a feeling. We feel lost, but that doesn't actually mean that we are. Because once we implement some of these things, whether it's the ones I spoke about or something else you find out or research, and just organize everything into small, manageable chunks, all of a sudden, you're going to find your step in. Because the chaos is never going to last forever. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. And most important of all, thank you for trying.